Speaking of verses, do you remember Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah,
Great
I saw that
movie.
in theaters.
Mr. Butterknives. Kelly Rowland. She calls Freddy Mr. Butterknives, and she gets absolutely wasted.
That's right, I forgot about that she was in that. How about the fucking girl that's supposed to be in high school, and she's got, not to be
Yeah.
disgusting, but she's got like fake boobs and shit, and
Yeah.
she's like supposed to be like a junior or senior in high school. Like,
Yeah, famous part of horror movies is teens that are supposed to be teens, but they're actually 30.
yeah, she's like 28, 30 years old.
Yeah. Like, a couple great horror movies. Obviously, Freddy vs. Jason, Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers. We have all the classics, but a couple ones that I've thought of, you were mentioning because Candyman is coming out. They're doing a new Candyman.
Yeah, I was just watching that trailer earlier, and dude, that looks awesome.
That's Jordan Peele, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, that's why it's so cool, because
Yeah.
it's gonna be like, I don't know, those movies are kind of fucked up. Those were hard to watch when I was a kid, when I was like really young.
I never really watched Candyman. I had a DVD called Boogeyman, and it was all scenes. It was one scene of like every famous killer, like Leprechaun, Chucky, Leatherface, Hellraiser,
Dude, there's so many Leprechaun movies.
Pinhead. Yeah, they're all bad.
Like, I know they do that with a lot of, like, obviously Jason movies and stuff.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, but for the Leprechaun, I thought they only made like a couple, and they made like fucking like 6 or 8 or some shit, and I'm like, oh my god.
Have you ever seen the movie It Follows?
No, I was just reading about that though.
Oh, it's a great movie.
I was just reading about that.
It's a great movie. I won't tell you about it because you gotta just watch it, but it's scary.
Yeah,
it's a
usually-
good, scary movie.
Usually in September is when I start watching a bunch of horror movies.
Yeah,
up
it's
through
that time
Halloween.
of the year. We should make a couple shorts this fall. Because I've had a bunch of different ideas. We should just start playing around and doing some scary stuff.
Yeah, especially when the leaves start falling. That's like the best time.
Yeah. I've had so many ideas for different movies or like villains or storylines. But there's a lot of good ones. I started one last night and I fell asleep. I didn't finish it. It just came out. Will you Google it? It has
What's it
Jesse Eisenberg. It just came out, and him and his girl, they're like over in the UK somewhere, and they walk into this little development like real estate shop, and this really creepy guy's like, oh, we have this development.
Vivarium?
Yeah, Vivarium.
Vivarium.
But they go and they get lost in this like labyrinth, and I fell asleep. But it was pretty good. The kid Jesse Eisenberg is in it.
That just reminded me. You ever see Pan's Labyrinth? That's kind of
No.
a horror thriller.
No, I haven't.
That's really good. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he makes
It's-
good ones.
There's like this creepy fucking monster in it, dude. It has like eyes in its hands, and it walks like
Yeah.
this, all fucked up towards the little
Oh,
girl.
I've seen that thing.
That shit is fucking like, and I love how he does that because it's practical. Like,
Yeah.
he does some great shit, and he did like The Shape of Water, which won Best Movie last year or the year before. And he just does like just real original shit, like shit I've never heard of before or could ever imagine thinking of. And like Pacific Rim, that movie was fucking sweet. The second one was terrible, but
Horror
the first
movie. That's not even a horror movie.
one, I know. But that just like made me think of it, just because like the aesthetic of that movie is just so fucking awesome.
Pacific Rim is not the one where the robots fight.
That's where like these giant Jaegers fight, like big monsters and shit.
Jaegers?
Yeah, they're called Jaegers.
What's a Jaeger, bruh?
It's German for something. They explain it in the movie.
It's not a robot?
It's kind of like a giant robot. It's the German pronunciation, or Jaeger means hunter in German.
Oh, Jaeger.
Yeah, but it's like giant, like 500-foot robots or whatever that fight like these Godzilla-sized monsters.
That's actually kind of cool.
It's really cool. The first one's awesome. Charlie Hunnam, who was in Sons of Anarchy, was in it. He's
Cool.
like the star.
Cloverfield was a great movie. Speaking of large monsters.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when it came out.
Cloverfield was not bad.
The trailer was good because it's like you don't know what it is. They don't
Yeah.
they don't reveal anything about it being a giant monster in the trailer for it.
There was
Remember
one
that?
called 10 Cloverfield Lane also that
Remember
wasn't
that one?
awful, but it wasn't as good. Cloverfield definitely was good. I loved how it was one of the first, I think the first, well, one of the big found footage ones that,
First one was Blair Witch.
yeah,
That, like,
yeah, which I like the remake. The Blair
didn't
Witch
see the
remake, it's not bad, dude. I enjoyed it. I rewatched it. I saw it in theaters because I used to watch the movie Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows, which was super scary. Great movie, Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. I saw that before I saw the original, and then I never liked the first one, but I like the first one a lot now. I think Blair Witch 1 is such a great movie, and they did a remake of the original Blair Witch, which is also like pretty. It's like not shot for shot, but it's like similar. It's
Yeah.
just a remake, and it's good.
one of the
Definitely
movies.
good.
One of the movies I like watching is around this time is The Evil Dead
Oh yeah.
or like Army of Darkness.
Oh yeah.
And there's a show on Netflix right now. I think it was originally on Stars.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Yeah, that's a fun show to watch. Just because Bruce Campbell's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's really
He
made
just
a
owns
career
that
of
role.
it.
I heard that they might make another movie, remake or whatever, of The Evil Dead. But I fucking love those movies. The show gets pretty fucking dark. It's
The
super
remake,
gory.
the remake of Evil Dead was pretty good. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
There's a remake of Evil Dead. That's
when
scary.
did that come out, actually?
That's scary.
2013.
There's a really the Vine rape scene.
That's fucked.
It's like way rapier. And the girl's so scary. Cabin Fever. Ever see Cabin Fever?
Yeah.
Great movie.
Isn't the dude from Boy Meets World in that one?
Uh,
Sean Hunter.
yeah, he might be. That's a great movie. Eli Roth. Hostel. Great movie.
Yeah, Ryder Strong.
I want to revisit Hostel for a minute. You've seen Hostel, right?
Yeah, let's pull it up too. I'm gonna.
So,
forgot what year that
with
came out.
all the talk of child and human trafficking, I want to just state the fact that Hostel was a horror movie that seemed not realistic when it first came out, but now seems basically almost like a documentary.
Yeah.
There's got to be shit
Based
like
on
that
the
going
shit
on.
you've been seeing. Yeah, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
Avicii has a music video, and I can't remember what the name of the song is, but it's a really good song and it's a really good video, but it's all like a fabricated fictional example of human trafficking, and then he was found dead after, and a lot of people say that he was like fighting human trafficking, and that's why he ended up suicided.
Yeah, I liked Avicii. Still
But
do.
That I was watching another documentary that was like over in Europe, and there's just these really just awful places, and that movie Hostel is not unrealistic at all, where if you were just over there with a couple boys and you end up getting drugged by a couple of whores and just ending up chained to a wall and a random guy just gets to torture you, seemed like such an odd concept. But now it seems like, well, that definitely happens, and there's probably cameras on them now, and there's probably people that pay to watch it. Live stream, baby.
Yeah,
Live
dude.
stream Hostel.
The black
here
web.
on Reg in the Zoo.
The black web. No, the dark web.
That's like, yeah, that's the Satan's web.
Yeah, dude, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah. But Hostel is a great flick.
Remember when Saw came out? That was huge. That
Dude.
kind of like started all that type of. those
I've
type
got
of
a
movies.
movie on the. Oh, Saw is a great movie. When he got up, one of the most monumental pieces of horror lore of all time. If anybody hasn't seen the first Saw, spoiler alert, if there's more than one, you gotta consider the guy might not be dead. But that moment in Saw 1, I won't give it away, but there's a moment where it's just one of the best parts of horror movie history. But there's a movie that I wanted you to see. Oh shit. It's like this guy, his friend is like shows up and invites him into this like group, this cult. And the guy's like down on his luck, and his friend shows up, and he's having a real good time, and he's like, "Oh, come on, you gotta come," and he ends up going, and it's in this like, he gets on this bus with all these random people, and it's like this really creepy like cult thing, and he ends up like in this room getting screamed at by this guy, and then he's running around, and then he's in this like orgy thing. Oh my god, it's such a good movie. I'll have to look it up really quickly. What other horror movies have you been watching, or are classics in your mind?
The Monster Squad.
What's the
It's
Monster
like-
Squad about?
It's kind of like the Goonies version of like monsters. And they're like with It's like the Goonies but with monsters, kind of. Like Dracula, werewolf, the creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy. Just the Universal monsters is what they're called because they were all from Universal Studios. But that movie's like a classic. I watch that every year.
Monster Squad?
The Monster Squad. Yeah, it's just a classic. It came out in '87. Actually, came out in September of '87. But dude, it was just an awesome movie. It's like a classic. It's like a cult classic. It didn't make that much money when it came out, obviously. But it's just like a different version of the Goonies in my book. Just a group of kids that like fight these monsters, and it's fucking sweet. That one's awesome to watch. I always gotta watch that. But that's not too much of a scary movie at all. But I always watch the Halloween movies every fucking year. John Carpenter's one of my favorites, and definitely gotta watch The Thing. That
There's
movie's
a new
original.
thing coming out.
I saw that.
They're doing a reboot. I
John-
found the movie.
John Carpenter's doing the music for it.
John Carpenter's doing for the Thing remake.
Yeah.
That's
like,
pretty sick.
Like he did for the new Halloween.
So the one that I was thinking of is called Rebirth. That's the one about the cult where the guy's friend shows up and he's just like, "Oh, dude, you got to come join this thing with me." It's good. It's entertaining as fuck. Another one, culty, on the topic of cult, scary kind of. The Sacrament. I think it's an Eli Roth movie.
Let's see, 2013.
The Sacrament.
Eli Roth was a producer.
For The Sacrament.
Ty West was the
That
director.
movie's good too. It's almost basically like if Jim Jones happened today
Try-
and Vice was there.
Take a guess at what the box office was for it.
What?
Just give me like any number what you think it would have been.
Like how much it made?
Yeah, in the box office.
Like 50 grand.
$9 grand.
That's so weird though. But it probably had a huge budget. But
Yeah, the budget's not on here.
the
but that's
box
crazy.
office, I don't even think it came out in theaters. So I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, there's no really
It was
like
probably
big name
limited
actors.
screening. No, it's basically like a found footage, like almost like Vice was there doing a documentary.
Yeah, that's kind of cool concept though.
It is good. It's a good movie. West Side Story.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg's doing fucking West Side Story.
So
Why do people like
going
musicals?
from horror to musicals. Now, West
Those are
Side's-
fucking horror movies to me 'cause they're so fucking. Like, I feel like I'm being tortured when I watch them.
Yeah, I don't like musicals, but I might watch West Side Story because it's got action.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to be curious
The
to
Jets
see.
and the Sharks.
Maybe it won't be a musical, but I mean,
There'll
I'm
be
pretty
some
sure it's
hot
going to
young
be
Latinos.
the Jets versus the Sharks.
Some hot young Latinos and Latinas.
Maria.
Maria!
Maria.
But it would be cool to. I don't know if you could reboot The Outsiders ever.
No.
I don't think you could ever reboot The Outsiders.
Yeah, you can't
Speaking
really
of
like.
gangs.
You can't get a cast like that
No.
together again.
Don't
I mean,
ever reboot The Outsiders.
Patrick Swayze, Matt Dillon, Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez, Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Like, and what's the other dude's name?
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, I said Matt Dillon. He was I forgot his character. Dallas.
Derry.
Derry?
Daly.
Daly. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
But who the fuck else was it? I don't know. It's not gonna come to my
It's
head.
a great movie.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know. Remember that we read the book, watched the movie in like middle school, I think. But I mean, I saw the movie like 10 times before that.
Same.
But just the fact, like getting that cast, Rob Lowe, that's who else was in it.
Good call.
But yeah,
he was
like,
like
and
the
just
first one to make it.
and just think of how big all those guys got. Patrick Swayze was one of the biggest actors in the '80s.
You know
early
what would be
90s
cool?
kinda.
You know what would be cool? And it would be impossible. Actually, you could do it now. The Outsiders collides in the same universe. They're older, they're today. They have kids that are on a sports team. They all still live in the same small town. The ones that are dead, you could kill off. And their kids or grandkids are still in the small town. And it's the summer that Jeepers Creepers comes back.
No, that's fucking crazy.
That would be the ultimate.
Dude, that the thing from Jeepers Creepers is fucked up.
Jeepers Creepers is
They-
one of the best movies of horror history. The first one, the second one's still good. Third, I don't even want to talk about it.
They did a second, like Outsiders movie, kind of like a sequel to it called That Was Then, This Is Now.
Really?
Yeah, it's another book by him, and Ponyboy's in it.
So,
So, and a lot of the books that he writes, it's like they all take place in the same universe. So sometimes, like, you get a reference to Ponyboy or something, a couple of them.
that's interesting.
But Emilio Estevez was in that one too. He's playing a different character. You ever see the movie The Program?
Yeah.
The quarterback from that movie?
Yeah.
He's like the main character
Joe
in this
Cap?
movie. Yeah. Is that what it is?
I think it's
It's
Joe
Joe
Cap.
something. Yeah, is that
Joe
it?
Cap.
But yeah, he's the main character in this movie with Emilio Estevez, who's like his best friend or whatever that like lives with him and his mom and shit. And
What's it called?
That Was Then, This Is Now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
have to
like
check that out.
I want to say maybe late '80s for that movie.
I just love the concept of horror movies in period pieces. Like, horror in other time periods gets me excited. Like, Devil's Rejects, Rob Zombie. That was so cool because it was like a different era almost. Like, it was like that 70s era. Even, like, excuse me. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was, like, obviously set back then when they did the first one. But I've always loved that pre-cell phone horror. Like, I think that's, for me, that's, like, some of the best genres, pre-cell
like,
phone horror.
In the horror movies now, it's like if cell phones are in there in the movie,
Yeah.
they have to write a part in there where it gets lost, it gets broken. For
Right.
like them not, because if they have it, it's like
Yeah. Oh, but they just
exactly.
But that's why Stranger Things was great, because it was ahead of cell phones.
You can like the Monster Squad. You can see like influence from that for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, okay.
Like you
yeah.
can definitely see that Stranger Things got some influence from that movie.
Yeah. It was scary. It Chapter 2, they were both done really well. But
Yeah,
again,
dude.
makeup does a lot.
The CG in that movie was good too, though. It didn't take away like usually CG ruins stuff, like
Yeah.
especially
I
with horror,
agree.
because if you can tell that it's fake, it's not as scary.
Yeah.
But the CG was done really fucking good in
Yeah,
that
the
movie.
leper
and
was really scary.
it didn't like take away from anything.
Yeah.
You ever see the old Pet Cemetery?
Yeah, the old one is
original?
good. I didn't see the reboot.
That lady's sister who walks up to the camera all fucked
She's
up.
got that skinny back.
And like she just does that crazy walk. That's like one of the scariest like scenes ever in any movie.
Equally scary, there's a scene in the movie Twilight Zone, where the chick goes to babysit the kid and his whole family's there, and he's like, "Oh, that's my sister. She used to something," and then I told her she couldn't talk anymore, and she turns to the camera and her mouth is gone. It like pans above the TV that she's watching in the corner.
That's
She's
great.
just like, and then it pans and she's got no mouth. That was equally scary to me as a boy.
Yeah, I love shit like that.
Chucky scared the shit out of me.
Did you ever-
Chucky legitimately scared me, and Poltergeist was a great one.
Yeah, Poltergeist definitely got to me.
Yeah.
Did you ever used to watch Tales from the Crypt?
Tales
HBO?
from the Crypt. Dude,
I love that
my
show.
mom and my brother and I would watch it, and I was way too young, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved that show.
My parents didn't really care what I watched when I was younger. It's kind of funny. Looked out
Me
there.
either.
But that show was awesome. I
Yeah.
loved that. They did a movie, and I think Dennis Miller is the star of it,
Yeah.
and it's about like vampires or some shit.
Tales from the Crypt was amazing.
That was a good show on HBO too, like classic HBO,
Yeah.
where like the intro was like the beginning of Beetlejuice, where it's like going through the town.
Yeah.
Like the little models and stuff.
The
It's
song
like the
is
HBO
great.
thing.
I
Fucking
think
love that.
that's a great song. Like they don't make intros to shows that way anymore.
Yeah.
I just love organic horror, like stuff that's made, like sets, time period, like detail, camera work. And then like some of the newer movies, it is cool how they do the found footage thing because it's like all shot, like they're actually filming it.
Yeah.
That's like, it wasn't Suburbia. Was Suburbia shot like that? Suburbia is a good movie. Disturbia. Disturbia.
No, it wasn't found footage.
There's a different movie similar to it that I think is mainly found footage, but that's good. Or no, there's a scene in Disturbia where he's like, the kid, like the Chinese kid, like his friend, like goes into the house or something.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
freaking out, but he's like watching the camera. That's what I'm thinking of. That was a great scene. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I like
that's
that
like
movie.
they made like a low key, like scary, like a guy, like a regular creeper guy in the suburbs seem like a real scary guy. Which there's so many of them. That's what's cool about horror is you can make anyone a monster. Anyone that walks by you on the street probably is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
Everyone's a monster.
Yeah, there's some fucking monstrous looking people out there too.
Yeah. So moral of the story is don't be a monster out there. Be a good person. Be good, be helpful. And then I think that's good. What else do you want to do today? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to horror. Coming to America 2 is coming out in December. I don't know if that'll be any good.
Probably not.
The first one's fucking incredible.
Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy?
No, Eddie Murphy
Oh, no,
and
that's
Arsenio.
trading places.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall.
Oh, that'll be interesting
Eddie
how
Murphy-
they do that in today's climate.
Yeah, but yeah, the West Side Story, Candyman, Batman trailer, Justice League being released in 4 parts. We talked all the horror and shit. Yeah, dude, I'd say that's a pretty good wrap on the episode.
Yeah, I do have one more story, but we'll save that. We'll open up with that one about. I saw a story in the Buffalo News about Bean Bastard coffee, so I'll save that for next one. We'll open up the next one with Bean Bastard
Yeah,
coffee.
that sounds good.
Buffalo, New York.
Let's put that in here.
Bean Bastard, baby. But yeah, we've been sipping on Swish and talking a lot. I hope everybody had a good time. I hope you guys have a good week. Stay tuned to our Instagram where we'll be posting some interesting things.
Weekly episodes every week.
Yeah, we're going to do at least 1 episode a week, perhaps 2.
Yeah, 2 sometimes, but definitely 1. I feel like we've been doing 1 a week pretty consistently.
Yeah, stay tuned, babies.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back. I'll be back.
I'll be back.